Okay, we're going to try to finish up these bottom ones in one video. So we're going to solve each equation for y. These are all, mostly all in standard form. We're going to put these in slope-intercept form. So basically, we're going to make all these y equal mx plus b. Okay, this is going to be very important next 6 weeks. Okay, so on this one right here, we're going to move the x over. Okay, so that will leave us negative 2y equals negative 5x plus 10. Now then, when we have a linear equation, we're going to draw 3 fraction bars because this is going to end up being our slope. So the negative 2's cancel out. You get y equals 2 negatives make a positive. You have 5 over 2x. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this is your y equal mx plus b. This is our slope. This is our y-intercept. Right here, we're going to move the 7x over. So we're going to have 3y equal. When you move it over, it changes from a positive to a negative. We're going to draw 3 fraction bars. Put 3 on the bottom. The 3's will cancel out. You'll have y equals negative 7 over 3x. And a negative divided by a positive is a negative 2. Number 13. Okay, we want to get the y all by itself, don't we? So we're going to move over the 4x. So we'll have 1/2 y equals negative 4x minus 3. I'll do that. That should be an x. So I'll move the x. The positive x turn into a negative x when you move it across the equal sign. Now then, this is a fraction in it. The opposite of divide by 2 is to multiply by 2. So we're going to multiply each term by 2. So the 2 divided by 1/2 is 1. So we'll get y equals 2 times negative 4 is a negative 8x. 2 times negative 3 is a negative 6. So my slope's negative 8, my y-intercept's negative 6. Y'all saw these last year in 8th grade math. Okay, right here we need to move the 12 over and the 3x over, don't we? So we're going to have the negative 4y stays on the right equals the negative 3x will turn into a positive 3x. The positive 12 will turn into a negative 12. So when you move the numbers across the equal bar, the signs will switch. The negative 3x changed to a positive. The positive 12 changed to a negative. Now then, put 3 fraction bars and divide each side by negative 4. So the negative 4's here divide out to 1, which is what we want. Y equals a positive divided by a negative is a negative. You get 3 over 4x. The negative goes in the middle. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So this right here is my slope. It's going to go down 3, right 4, and it's going to start at my y-intercept, which is 3. So all we did is make all 4 of these equations, y equal mx plus b. When you do that, you want to draw 3 fraction bars instead of just 1 fraction bar like I did here. Now then, let's solve these inequalities. Okay, we have a fraction bar here. The opposite of divide by 5 is to multiply by 5. So each term gets a 5. So here's a 5, here's a 5. This 1 fraction bar gets a 5. That's going to divide out my 5's, won't it? Now then, 5 times 8 is 40 plus 10n less than 4. And I'm going to distribute this real quick. So 4 and 4, this is going to be 12. Save a step here. Plus 24n. Now then, when you have an inequality, I always like moving my letter to the left, so I'm going to have minus 24n. My number's going to go to the right, minus 40. So 10 minus 24 is a negative 14n, less than 12 minus 40 is negative 28. Now then, I'm going to divide by negative 14, divide by negative 14. When you divide by negative, make sure you write flip. You're going to get n flip greater than 2 negatives make a positive, and 28 divided by 4 is 2. If you had to graph that, you would put 0. You would put a 2 with a big dot. You would leave the dot open. There's no equal bar, and the line would go to the right. Your inequality is going to match up to your arrow tip. What a blast. Over here, we have a divide by 8, don't we? So this 1 fraction bar gets a multiple of 8. The x gets an 8, and the 2 gets an 8. You got to multiply each term by 8. The 8's will cancel out. They divide out to 1, and we need to distribute the 3. So 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times negative 3 is minus 9. We have a greater than or equal to, and then over here we have 8x minus 16. So I just divided out the 8's and then multiplied these by 8's, and I distributed by 3. Now then, my x always goes to the left in inequality. So I'm going to, the opposite of 8x is minus 8x. The opposite of minus 9 is plus 9. So 9x minus 8x is x greater than or equal to negative 16 plus 9 is a negative 7. I don't have to flip the inequality. So to graph this, I would put 0 on the number line, and x, I would have a negative 7, a big dot that's shaded, and my line would go to the right, wouldn't it? All the numbers that are greater than negative 7 would make that inequality work. We are running out of room, but let's keep going. Multiply each side by 5, so that gives me a 5n minus 25 greater than or equal to 4n minus 29. Always move your letters to the left, so minus 4n, move this over, plus 25. 5n minus 4n is n, greater than or equal to negative 4. Negative 29 plus 25. Make sure y'all get the integers right. You got a calculator. 29 is bigger than 25. You have more 29s than you do 25, so the sign's going to be negative, and the signs are different, so you subtract. That's how you get the negative 4. Go back to 6th grade. Don't miss that. And then draw your inequality sign. 0, you have an n, a negative 4 right here, a closed dot, and the arrow is going to go to the right. What a blast. Okay, on this one, distribute the negative 4. You're going to get negative 12m minus 4 greater than or equal to negative 4m minus 28. So my letters go to the left, my numbers go to the right. The opposite of minus 4m is plus 4m. The opposite of minus 4 is plus 4. That's going to give me a negative 8m. Jiminy crickets. Greater than or equal to negative 28 plus 20 is negative 24. So divide by negative 8. I'm going to run out of room to graph this. So when you divide by negative, you flip. So m, this is going to flip to less than or equal to. 2 negatives make a positive 3. So m less than or equal to 3. You'd have a dot with 3, and the arrow would go to the left with it. And the dot would be closed if you graphed it.